Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle and this is my Cloak and Dagger Christmas recommendation video for the study. I'm going to put a link to my announcement video for Cloak and Dagger Christmas up in the cards in case you haven't seen that yet. You should start there so that this makes sense. In this video, I'm going to give you my recommendations for just one room, the study, and I'm going to do individual videos for all the following rooms, just so that you don't have to watch a really long video of recommendations. So the prompt of this study is to read a book associated with your profession, what you studied in college, or a field that you would like to learn more about. And a field that I find really interesting is anthropology and archaeology. So I'm going to recommend you some I'm going to recommend you some books that are set in the world of anthropology and archaeology. I am also going to do a couple recommendations for unusual areas of study, and I'm also going to do a Agatha Christie recommendation. I absolutely love Agatha Christie, so I have decided that with all my other recommendations for each prompt for Cloak and Dagger Christmas, I am going to be including an Agatha Christie recommendation for that prompt. So let's dive right in. The first book that I want to recommend is Carved in Bone by Jefferson Bass. This is from 2006 and it's the first in his series. This is a series about an anthropologist. His name is Dr. Bill Brockton, and he is an anthropologist who works at the Body Farm in Tennessee. So what's great about this series is that it is written by Jefferson Bass is a pseudonym of a writing team, Dr. Bill Bass and John Jefferson. Dr. Bass is the world-renowned forensic anthropologist who founded the University of Tennessee's Anthropology Research Facility, which is nicknamed the Body Farm. And then John Jefferson is a writer. And so the two of them have been working together. So what's great here is there is so much actual information because there is an anthropologist who started the Body Farm so involved in these books. And so these are really fun. So if you are interested at all in anthropology, then this could be a series for you. It's set primarily at the Body Farm at the University in Tennessee. And in this particular one, a woman's corpse has been found in a cave in the mountains of East Tennessee. Undiscovered for 30 years, her body has been transformed by the cave's chemistry into a near-perfect mummy. So, Jefferson Bass, his Body Farm series, the first one, Carved in Bone. Next, we're going to move over to the UK for another anthropologist, and this is Simon Becket's Dr. David Hunter series, the first one of which is called The Chemistry of Death. This is from 2006. And as a bonus for you, this book could also fulfill the prompt for the kitchen because it's set in a village. So, bonus prompt there. Dr. David Hunter is a forensic anthropologist. However, when this book opens, we find out that he has moved from London to this small village where he is just a GP because he lost his wife and daughter, and so he is grieving. He wanted to just get away from his other life, and so in this book, when the series starts, he is just being a GP. But he makes use of his skills as a forensic anthropologist. This is a good series. I really quite enjoy it, and a lot of stuff about the human body and how it reacts after death, and how we can discover the truth about how someone died. from studying their bones and stuff. And so yeah, I like this series, and for those of you who are looking for a series outside of the US, this one is set in England. And then we have Dr. Temperance Brennan, who is the director of forensic anthropology for the province of Quebec. This is Deja Dead by Kathy Reichs. This is the first in her Temperance Brennan series. And for those of you who are wondering, this series is very different from the television show Bones, they're using the same character name, Temperance Brennan, but the books are very different from the TV series. So in this book, she is in Quebec and she investigates the case in Quebec, but as the series continues, she ends up working between Quebec and South Carolina, so that adds an interesting dynamic as well to the stories. And again, she's a forensic anthropologist, and so if that is something that interests you, then you might want to check out Kathy Reichs' series, and this is the first one, Deja Dead. All right, and then we're heading back to the UK with Elly Griffiths' Ruth Galloway series. This is the first in the series called The Crossing Places from 2009. And Ruth Galloway is an instructor at the university. Yes, she is an instructor in forensic archaeology. So we're moving from anthropology now into archaeology. And so she's an instructor in forensic archaeology. And when bones are found at a dig, an ancient henge in the wild salt marsh on Norfolk's north coast, the police call her in to investigate the bones. Obviously they need to know, are they ancient or are they modern? And so this is a pretty good series. I really enjoy stuff about, like I said, about archaeology and anthropology, and so unfortunately for me, as the series continues, you get a little less of her work as an archaeologist than I would like, maybe, but it's still a pretty good series, and I can recommend it. And then finally, Elizabeth Peters' Amelia Peabody series. This is the first one, The Crocodile on the Sandbank from 1975. This is a historical mystery series set in the late 1800s. It starts in the Victorian times, and Amelia Peabody goes to Egypt. She has an interest in Egyptology and archaeology, and she ends up working on a dig with the Emerson brothers. And as the series continues, each book is about an archaeological dig, that year's season. And so this series is really fun. It is lighthearted and humorous, a lot of good stuff about archaeology, and yeah, I really enjoy this series as well. Also, bonus prompt, you can use this book for the conservatory, travel to a warm climate. It's set in Egypt, and that is definitely a warm climate. So, bonus prompt. All right, unusual areas of study. The first one I want to talk about is Lepidoptery, which is the study of butterflies. And you can find that in Deanna Raybourn's Veronica Speedwell series. This is the second in the series, and it's called A Perilous Undertaking from 2017. And there's a lot in here about collecting butterflies, studying butterflies, which is really interesting. I think that's really interesting. And also, bonus prompt, you could use this book for nature. So the conservatory, because she's a lepidopterist. Her partner is a taxidermist. They call themselves natural historians, so there's a lot about nature in this series. So bonus prompt for you. The second unusual area of study I want to talk about is Enology, which is the science and study of wine and winemaking. So this is The Winemaker Detective by Jean-Pierre Alaux Noel Balan, and it's been translated from the French by Anne Trager and Sally Pane. This was written in 2004, and as a bonus for you, there are actually 3 stories in this book. So you could just read one, and it would be, I would say they're novellas. So if you're looking for something a little shorter, because you've got a lot of books that you want to read this month, this could be a good option for you. So this is set in France, and the main character is a master winemaker, Benjamin Cooker, and his sidekick, Virgil Lancien, and they travel around the winemaking region of France and solve mysteries. And so this one was really fun, and there's a lot about wine and winemaking in here. And then the third unusual area of study that I want to mention is art historians. And in this case, this is an art historian who specializes in the art of death. And so this is the Sweeney St. George series by Sarah Stewart Taylor. This is the first in the series, O Artful Death. And this was written in 2003. There are only 4 books in this series, so it's a nice short series if you want to dig your teeth into it. But it's so fascinating. So she studies the art of death. So she studies gravestones and mourning jewelry and mourning photography, all of that stuff, and I find that so fascinating, and I really enjoy this series, and it's a series that I never hear talked about. So it is set in the United States, in Boston primarily, although she moves around a little bit, and so in this one she goes to an artist's colony in Vermont. And so yeah, I can highly recommend the Sweeney St. George series by Sarah Stewart Taylor. And then finally, my Agatha Christie recommendation is Murder in Mesopotamia from 1936. This is a Hercule Poirot, and it takes place at an archaeological dig in Mesopotamia, so that is perfect for this. And this was actually really fun. There was a lot about the dig and different people's roles in the dig and what they did with what they found. And so yeah, this is definitely a good recommendation for archaeology. So those are my recommendations for the study. I hope you found something in there that intrigued you, and I will see you for my next recommendation video very soon. Bye.